All right. Hello, everybody, again. We have Vancouver Whitecaps FC head coach Jesper Sørensen here ahead of our opening match in the Concacaf Champions Cup against CS Cartaginés. Reminder, if you do have a question, please use the raise hand function. We will start here with Michael McCall. Go ahead, Michael.
Morning, Jesper.
Yeah, morning.
This is your second year. This is your second year in the competition. What did you learn from last year's run about how to approach these games, and how different was it for you from, say, the Conference League qualifiers that you'd been through in the past?
First and foremost, that I didn't know much of the opponents. I didn't know much of the differences in climates, and you play under very different circumstances that you do in when we play back in Vancouver, for instance, where we play indoors on turf at the moment. But now we play in Costa Rica, for instance, like first game last year, where the weather is nice and warm, and you play on grass pitches, and it's a little bit different than we used to this time of year at home. So I think just get to learn the competition, what it's about, the teams you're up against. It's a different situation than when you play in the European Conference League, for instance. You normally have a very good feeling of what you're up against, both with the opponents, fans, and the atmosphere, but also how they play and playing wise. So I think it is a different competition compared to the Europeans, but it's a great competition though.
Last year you had such good success on the road when you were the away team in the second legs. Do you have to kind of approach the games differently when you're hosting the second leg and you're the away team in the first?
Yeah. Last year when we had the second game at home, we lost the first game. So we were also pretty well off playing the second game at home, right? So it's the first game of two. The margin of error is smaller when you play these ties where you have two games that decides everything. It's not like you have 34 in the league. So the margin for error is of course smaller. We want to secure that we have a good result going back to Vancouver next week. But it's also a little bit tricky if you play a little bit too passive, then you may get into trouble. If you play a little bit too aggressive, you may get into trouble. It's about finding the right balance, I think. But I think a bad thing would be trying to do something completely away from, different from what you normally do. And we'll try to approach the game the same way we normally do. But of course, we know that we have to keep it tight when we play, and also that we want to secure that we have a good result going back home to Vancouver, where we believe that we will have a chance to go through to the next round.
Thank you, Michael. We'll go ahead to Gemma Carson-Smith up next. Go ahead, Gemma.
Hi, Jesper. Nice to see you. Talk to us a little bit about what you can take from the preseason, what you've learned about your team and this particular group heading into tomorrow night's match.
Yeah, I think the preseason was different from last season because we knew each other. Everybody knew how we would like to approach the game and how we normally train. And so we had a little bit of a head start going into this preseason, I would say. Having said that, we also had some, a couple of players has been going out. Also, some of them who really were profiles for us last year and did well. Ali and Jaden. Sabi didn't, for various reasons, not participate in the preseason games, but we know that we're a team that has a certain style of play, and throughout the preseason, I think that even though the conditions were not optimal for us, in Spain this year around. I think that everybody was working well, and we also could see that it was pretty easy for the new players coming in and be accepted in the group and have, you know, good relations to the other guys in the group and be well functioning from the start. So I think that was in general, that's what we've seen in preseason. Now it's about getting into the rhythm of game and play pretty fast, because we have so many games so tight in the beginning of the season. So it's about, you know, get going from the start and not, you know, be waiting or anything, and everybody has to be ready to go, and I think they are.
Brian was just saying that having that busy start to a schedule can be a bit an asset, and he thought it was an asset for your group last year. How do you view that? How do you view that as a coach, and how do you manage it when I think you start with 4 games in like 2 weeks or something?
Yeah, in 10 days, yeah. Yeah, you know, I think it's a good thing. I think it's good because a lot of the players will have, you know, in 10 days from now, they will have been in real games, participating and played a part. And I think that's very important for going forward. Last year, it was good that we had all these games. It was also, we only had them because we because we performed well and we went on to the next stage and to the next stage. So I think last year we benefited from it. All the players got involved and we got a lot of contributions from various players. So I think that was huge. Now, of course, hopefully it will be the same. That we will be ready to go and everybody will be ready to play their part, and we know that it's not going to be 11 players playing 4 games in 10 days. So I think it's nice going into this. I would say though that it's a pretty tough start also for the players and also managing, you know, the physicality of it. But yeah, we learned from last year that that it can be an advantage and also an asset. I think it's a good thing.
Thanks, Gemma. We'll go ahead here now to Jay January next. Go ahead, Jay.
Hello, Jesper. Nice to see you. Because of the challenge of playing 4 matches in the first 10 days to get this going, but also wanting to have a strong result tomorrow, I'm curious what kind of lineup you're going to go with tomorrow. Are you going to dress a strong lineup? Can you share with us what your thought process is for tomorrow's match as well as these 4 coming up?
Yeah, I'm also pretty curious what will come up of the ball tomorrow of the starting lineup. It's going to be interesting. Of course, we'll put up a strong lineup. We'll also have an eye on the next games, but we put up a lineup that we believe will fit well to the game we have tomorrow. We always think that we put up a very strong lineup when we put a team on the pitch, and yeah, we are in a fortunate situation that you can always discuss: is this guy the best in this position, or should we play with another one? Or who fits into this special game, and what is actually the best lineup? We never know, but we are fortunate that we have, you know, a lot of good players that can play, and that's what is important for us right now. And I think the lineup will of course be adequate to us taking this game very seriously, and also it's a competition we would like to. Yeah, we'll like to see if we can do even better than last year. And if we want to do that, we have to win it all. So we have to take it seriously. There's not that much room for error. So we cannot just say, yeah, we go light in a couple of games here and then we focus on the MLS. So we have to be strong already from tomorrow on.
2-part question for you for my last one. How different do you think it'll be having a full season with Thomas on board? Because we saw what he meant to you when he joined in September of last year. And then I remember, I don't know how many times I chatted with you about the fact that you never really had a set starting 11 because of all the injuries that you faced. And yet here again, I don't know if you have another set starting 11 because of Galdi being out and with the changes that have made. Just your thoughts on that, Jesper.
You know, for me, I don't really never think about having a set starting 11. I think sometimes things develop, and then you see that some players really play well off each other, and you have players coming in and doing well, and they find good relations, and all of a sudden things are really well functioning. Sometimes you're forced to play with a player. All of a sudden he shows you that way that might be even the best option on this position. So I think football is not static in my view. I think it's always fluid, and things will be in motion all the time. That's why it's so important that everybody knows their part when they play it. And then we also know over the course of the season that things are up and down. Sometimes we have injuries, sometimes we have players not in the same, rhythm and form as they've been maybe early in the season, and it's just natural. So I don't work with the set starting 11. Also a little bit demotivating, I think, for the group in general. Everybody knows who's going to play every time, and we also want to compete on a daily basis for starting positions. So that was one of the questions. The other one, we have to see, right, with Thomas. First and foremost, he contributed massively when he came in, gave a big spark to everybody, to teammates, to the club, to fans, everybody. So that was great, and the influence he had on us. Also, moving forward, last season was great, and of course he's a player that wants to push things, and I think definitely having him in is great for a full season, but it's also about acknowledging that we cannot play all minutes with Thomas as well, like all of the other guys, even though we would like to, because it's also what is smart and how to build it up. In the end, last year he was hurt but played anyways, and it's important that we build up from the beginning of the season. And I think Thomas' influence is great, and it's good to have, and it's also good that we have him, over the course of the whole season.
Thank you, Jay. We'll go up next here to Kejmer Gomez-Munoz. Go ahead, Kejmer.
Hello, Coach. Welcome to Costa Rica. The season begins just last year with a Costa Rican team. Which players do you know on Cartaginés, and how do you feel about this match? Can you handle being the favorites in this series? Thank you very much.
Yeah, we of course followed the Cartaginés since we knew the draw. We have seen they came out to a very good start, especially in the beginning of the season in the Costa Rican League, and then of course now they're out of the cup. Cup games are always pretty special, but you also have to look at, they played a quite similar format with 2 games in the cup that we play in this competition, so that's also something that we looked into. They have some good players. I don't know if I can their names is not something that I will. I'm not that good in Spanish also, so but we have definitely seen that they play with wingers that can take the ball inside and shoot well. They have a strong attacking player that really is attacking the box very hard, and they have 2 players playing off each other and the inside of the pitch, and really would like to play on the inside with some narrow crosses, and also they would like to see if they can win the ball up high and have some fullbacks, especially on the right side, that goes up high and really like to attack as well. So I think it's a good team that has confidence from having a good start, maybe a little bit of a better start than normal in the Costa Rican League, but also it's a team where we hope that we'll be strong enough to eventually prevail over 2 games.
Thank you, Kejmer. We'll go up next here to Har. Go ahead, Har. Hi, Har. Can you hear us?
Yes, sir. I'm wondering, has Caicedo and Sabli, have they got their visas yet?
I'm wondering the same thing. I think Sabali, yes, is about to be cleared. It's in the process. It's pretty close for them to have gotten their visas and be ready to play for us. I can't confirm anything right now, but I think the latest I heard is that it's pretty close, and that is very good news heading into the season, that they'll be ready going into it pretty soon.
And finally, from me, how are you going to manage your center backs? Because you have a lot of center backs, most of them are healthy. How is that rotation going to work? Because you have Ralph Priso now as a center back, Tristan is healthy, you have a lot of options in the board as well. How do you make sure you have the right combination for all these games that are coming up?
I can't make sure of that, but I will try. So we have, of course, right now, as of this moment, we have Ranko and Bilal out. They're not available. Apart from that, we have down here, we have Tristan, Ralph, Matthias, Basti, Sean Lau, which is nice to have him back. We haven't seen him play games for the Whitecaps yet. We are looking forward for that to see that. Yeah, but sometimes you have a plan for how you will rotate them. If you want to rotate them, sometimes you have to accept that you can plan, because then you get a suspension, an injury, whatever. So I think we're gonna manage. We know about Ranko's injury. Bilal should be a little bit further ahead, and then we'll have plenty of availability. We also know Matthias can play on the fullback and often has done so. I think we are well off in those positions, and let's see if we can find a good way of handling it.
And we'll wrap up here with Fabricio Rosales. Go ahead, Fabricio.
Hi, Coach Jesper. This is Fabricio from Deportes Repetel. What's going to change, for example, because you play against Saprissa last year, so what's going to change against Cartaginés this year?
Well, hopefully, we're not going to lose the first game. That's hopefully a change we can make, but that's not only up to us, that's also up to Cartaginés. I think, yeah, we were prepared for the game, for the opposition. We also a little bit further ahead than we were last year in how we play, and I think that we also grew over the season last year to become a better finishing as a better team than we started. So I hope that we can find, a way to get the game played in our terms. And then of course we know that Cartaginés, they have some very good players that if we allow them to play up to their strength, then we will have difficulties. But it's always the case in football that things happen, and that a lot of stuff is also random in the games. That's why we play, otherwise we wouldn't have to play. So I think we learned from last year that the atmosphere, that the stadium can all of a sudden get very intense and really help the home team. And even though I thought that we had good control in the last part of the game in Saprissa last year, then they managed to score in the end. And especially in that game, I think we slipped a little bit in the tactical things in the end, and that's definitely something that we have to take from last season, that we have to be very good, tactically all through the game.
All right. Thank you, everybody, and thank you, Jesper.